Hello and welcome to the Kayden Show, today's best country mix. And today's guest is joining me is Brandon Davis. Hey, Brandon, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into music.
Man, it's been in my life ever since I can remember. I mean, my dad played it for years, all throughout my childhood growing up. My dad played it with my papa back when he was growing up. My mama and papa traveled around playing gospel music. So, yeah, I mean, it runs deep, and thanks to them and really, a lifetime of listening to it, loving to play it, loving to hear it, and
Mhm.
loving to write it. It's something that's always hit home for me. It's always been that go-to kind of hobby that really,
Mhm.
settles you in and makes you feel good. And luckily now, after a long road of getting here and, some ups and downs, put down the guitar, pick it back up, and
Mhm.
finally make it through all the tribulations, we're here playing it for a living.
That's awesome. And how I kind of found you was from the Tim McGraw tour that you're going on. Kind of tell us a little bit about that.
It's one of those once in a lifetime things that I never
Absolutely.
that thankfully it's happened, and still trying to figure out whether reality is actually taking place, or if I'm going to get like right there to where I'm walking on stage and it's some cruel joke and I wake up. But so far we're still cooking.
Yeah, I bet. Not every artist gets that opportunity like that. So,
Very thankful to be one that has, because it's watching one of your heroes as you grow up do what they do in country music, someone like Tim McGraw that's achieved
oh
all
yeah.
the
Hmm.
feats and goals,
Hmm.
and now getting the chance to kind of step up and say, hey, look, this guy's giving me a chance to see what we got.
Hmm.
It's an opportunity I'm glad I'm getting to partake in, and one I definitely didn't want to miss out on.
Absolutely. And hopefully I'll be able to come because you guys are actually coming to my area, Massachusetts. So I'm very excited for that.
Oh heck yeah, I'd love to have you out there, man.
Yeah. So kind of tell us a little bit on your reaction. Like, were you like pumped? How did you react when you found out Tim McGraw is like, how excited were you? Like, kind of tell us a little bit about that, like how you were feeling.
Man, I was speechless at first, and the only words that I could get to, eventually stutter and fumble out of my mouth was "Holy crap!"
I
And I'm
know.
sure it's not the
Hmm.
response you expect on the other end of the line, but I mean, I was sitting there thinking, how in the world? Number one, Tim McGraw's on the phone. Number two, the man himself just asked me to go on tour. So I mean, how do you take those emotions and those reactions? And
Basically, how my reaction was there. I bet you how you were feeling there.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
if you watched any of what we posted, man, my wife
Hmm.
was cracking up because I was jumping all around the room, getting
Yeah.
ready to do everything with cartwheels because afraid I'd hurt myself. But
Yeah.
man, I was on cloud nine. I'm still on cloud nine because I mean that's a dream come true for that kind of a chance, and it's a night that I'm never gonna forget.
Yeah, totally. So this was this like the first time you've ever been approached by someone like up here?
Up at that level, yeah, that's the first time
Hmm.
I've ever had any conversation with someone that, especially someone that you look up to for so long. I mean,
Hmm.
that was my first, and you if you can't tell by the shock and awe, that it
Yeah.
took a little bit of getting used to.
Hmm. My question to you is, what do you think? Why do you think he chose you? Like, what is it about you that stood out to him?
I really don't know. I hope to say that what stood out to him is the fact that we just are who we are, and we try to
Hmm.
focus on the fact that we love the family that we have,
Hmm.
and it's a big inspiration behind the music, and we try to share that with the world and really put out songs that connect with folks. And I feel like that's something him and Faith have been doing for years, really connecting with
Hmm.
people on a
Right.
family
Hmm.
level and
Him and
bringing
Faith
that out.
Hill. Yep. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Based off following him and Faith Hill all these years, you kind of just know that they're very together and very honored to be in the country music industry.
I agree, man. They're the powerhouse
Mhm.
couple.
Yeah, that's right. So, if you could duet or collaborate with any singer, Brandon, who would you choose and why?
Aside from getting a chance to hop up on stage with
Hmm.
Tim McGraw, it'd be I'd have to dive back a few years to a man that I wish was still around. That'd be Merle Haggard.
Hmm.
Because even though I know he's not one of the ones that's unfortunately with us,
Hmm.
I wish and pray that I could go back in time just for one opportunity to hop up on stage
Hmm.
and sing with that guy, because that was the common man's poet and my songwriting hero growing up.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. Brandon, do you have any new singles or any upcoming projects that we can look forward to besides this huge news about Tim McGraw?
Well, we do have quite a few singles that are being rolled into a little bit of a bigger project. I won't allude as to what exactly that project's going to be just yet, but we do have some stuff coming up around the corner. 2022 is going to be a year packed full of music, and got more of it that I want to share than what I'm capable of getting out all at once. So we're just going to keep it coming as fast as we can.
That's awesome.
And some of
Where
it
do you?
heard
Oh, go
my
ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna say some of it is stuff they might have already heard. If you go out and check
Hmm.
our YouTube, and especially folks that have been coming to these live shows, and the rest might be a little bit of a surprise.
Hmm. I know this question kind of already has been answered in a way, but if you could choose someone else other than Tim McGraw, if you could go open a show for any other artist, who would you choose and why?
Hmm. Honestly, I think it'd probably be George Strait, and
Why's
that
that?
because I growing up, I had a copy of his 50 number one hits,
Hmm.
and I don't think there's a song I ever listened to that I didn't love. And the demeanor that guy's got when he's on stage, when he's being interviewed, when just he's an all around good person from
Hmm.
everything I've read and everything I've seen. And he's someone that's really and truly he stayed true to himself all these years. So I'd love to get on stage and
Hmm.
share with somebody that my dire love for not only their music but the kind of music they continue to roll out.
Hmm. So, what does a typical day look like for you? What are you up to during the day?
Well, chasing kids, writing songs in between that, whether it be Zoom or in person,
Hmm.
running kids back and forth to school,
Hmm.
um, trying to keep up with everything on social media and make sure that we're trying to stay involved with folks as much as possible. Because if it weren't for the people that are interacting with us on social media and through all this music, we wouldn't have anyone to play all this music for. And then come the end of the day, it's finding that one bit of time once bedtime rolls around to wind down just a little bit, put
Hmm.
work and kids all to bed for the night, and actually have
Hmm.
a chance for me and Destiny to finally have a little bit of wind down time just
Hmm.
as adults. So
Hmm. Very true. How many kids do you have?
we have four, and
Mhm.
that's the cap. No more past that.
Oh, glad to hear that. I know a lot of people that like have a bunch of kids and then a couple kids. So it's like I was just curious.
Yeah, I've got family in North Carolina that
Hmm.
they've got quite the number between
Hmm.
two cousins. So I'll let them hold
Hmm.
the high numbers.
Hmm.
We'll sit right here at our good average four. So
Yeah, I think four is decent. Any more than that, I think would be a handful.
I agree. My four ain't good enough. I've got two that I
Yeah.
can five children in themselves. So
Hmm. Hmm. What do you like doing outside of music for your hobbies and interests, Brandon?
well, it used to be a lot of baseball, which now I try to live that through the fact that my boys are really getting into sports. And I
Hmm.
also love anything to do with comic books, comic book movies. That's always been my niche ever since I was a kid.
Hmm. So that would be your number one thing you'd think?
As of right now, it's probably my number one go-to. I have the easiest access to that thanks to good old cell phones. So
Hmm. That's very true. Everything technology nowadays, especially in the time that we're in right now.
you better believe it. Everything's
Yeah.
accessible through a phone or a tablet, man.
Hmm. Hmm. So, what advice would you give someone that wants to kind of get into singing, kind of wants to learn the music industry? What advice do you give them?
Following their heart and staying true to themselves is the biggest thing, because there's a lot of people that try to get into industry with either the wrong focus on where they want to go, or they focus on the money. And the big thing is this kind of business can make you a lot of money, but if your heart's not in it and you're not driven to really just do it because you love it and you're passionate about it, then what comes from that doesn't matter. And that's my
Hmm.
biggest thing to pass on, is that we do this because we love it, we're passionate about it, and we share it with a
Hmm.
bunch of people that are passionate about it as well. And God's blessed us because of that, and I'm very thankful.
Hmm. So, what is one message they would like to give your fans or anyone listening right now?
One message I'd like to give is really just a message of thanks, because there are so many people out there that have helped us along the way, whether it be through relationships, acquiring shows and networking to find new songwriters, and being able to take what we've got and share it with the world. But it comes down to a thank you for everyone that streams, that shares these videos, that follows us on this journey, and that has been a part of this ever since the beginning, because we're blessed to know that so many people have got our backs and got our have been giving us all the support. We're very
Hmm.
looking very much forward to everything that has to come and all the people that are joining in with us along the way.
And also, where can people find you on social media if they want to check you out?
So they can find me on Instagram and TikTok at the handle at Brandon Davis _ music. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube by just start searching Brandon Davis. And if you want a link to get you to that, as well as a way to get to all the streaming services for music and all show dates and merchandise, you can go to brandondavismusic.com.
That's awesome. And Brandon, one more thing before we go. Is there anything else that I forgot that you'd like to share with us today?
Yeah, I think you've pretty well covered the basis, but the big thing is there's a lot coming this year. We've got a tour. We've got a lot of tour dates that
Hmm.
are finishing off the final leg of the Step by Step tour between now and April. And anyone who's been following us thus far, y'all know that we love each and every one of y'all, and we're just looking forward to a big year, because 2022 has new music, new
Right.
shows, and so much more content, along with hopefully some more music videos and everything to come. And we're just looking forward to sharing a really great year with everybody.
I am super pumped to see what you got going on. I also follow you on social, so I'll keep updated with that. And again, I would like to thank Brandon Davis for joining us right here on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. We appreciate your time to talk to us today.
Absolutely, brother. We appreciate y'all having us on here, and well, us. I'm looking at myself, but I appreciate you
I'm
having me.
like, I think it's just me and you here. I don't see anyone else, do you?
You never know over here. There could be a 2-year old and a 4-year old crawling back behind this couch. I never can
Oh,
tell.
I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen that yet. I'm sure I'll see him popping out like this.
Trust me, they love the attention. So, but no, I appreciate you having me on, man, and it's been a pleasure, and looking forward to hopefully coming back on in the future.